Hello and welcome to today's video. It's titled Tame PCE Celebrations, and if you had been following my Twitter feed, what I had been tweeting early American morning throughout the European day, you would have been very well prepared and already indeed celebrating. Thank you for liking, commenting and subscribing to my YouTube channel, following me on Twitter, asking, commenting, liking, subscribing, whatever. My goal with these quick videos is to prepare you for the days ahead, and today is one of those days that would have meaning for more than today. Don't forget that the daily analysis on my site form the basis, so make sure you are subscribed and that you are very familiar with my Twitter and Telegram. So let's move into stocks. What I had been thinking going into the core PC data release. The figure is not likely to come in hot, no matter how resilient the core figures I had been calling lately as having to be. Remember that as well, more than a couple of days ago, I had been mentioning that the core figures would slowly start trending lower over the coming months. And it's not just, but predominantly it is, a function of shorter real estate rents, owner's equivalent rent, however you call this concept. So that would foster the market positioning that maybe just maybe the Fed would not hike in July. It can pass now. Let's see the direct contradiction to Powell's latest words of 2 more hikes this year, and the hopes that we had reached the no landing or perhaps a very soft landing scenario. The intermarket cruise, especially as regards my favorite 30-minute and 1-hour charts when it comes to intraday trading, had been S&P 500, Nasdaq and Russell 2000. How these have been lining up before a couple of hours this data had been released, and what gold, respectively silver, but predominantly gold, had been doing before that. Going down, finding a bottom and preparing for an upswing. There was as well something that was foretold yesterday by the solid miners showing, and another clue confirming this takeaway of mine was the EUR/USD currency pair. Remember that on the daily chart gold had a nice lower knot yesterday, and it happened on rising volume. Miners were up no matter what was happening in other asset classes, which was very positive. So for today we are facing a risk on bias, maybe an initial little dip when markets open, to sell the news and then to buy it again, as markets will celebrate the recession that supposedly wasn't. I still stand by my call that late quarter 3, most likely September, perhaps with good enough revisions of existing data, we would see that it's striking already in August, but latest October it should be confirmed. And one more note, today just underscores the advantages of viewing all the markets holistically, beyond merely stocks and bonds, which means that you would certainly benefit from my trading signals, the all-inclusive publication that I'm bringing you every day. Overview of gold, silver, copper and crude oil every single day, on top of stocks and bonds. That's the daily S&P 500 chart, and not even an initial dip that could have been bought into materialized. Maybe a little right now after the open, but I'm not counting on anything huge. The prior leaders of tech, communications and discretionaries are likely to kick in with solid force. Sorry for the typo, it's intended to say fair share, of course in quotation marks, you know me. As for the sectors from non-tech that are doing best and catching relative strength, industrials, materials, energy, and of course financials, who have been doing quite well lately, these aren't to disappoint, and that will be another decisive factor of the broadening rotations that are for now still ruling the markets. And it would happen, of course, to the closing bell, and the level stalked in today's reasonably extensive analysis, 4455 would be very comfortably overcome on a closing basis, and we are not likely to see the solid support of 4432 jeopardized. Summing up, it's a risk-on day, and it would come at the US dollar expense. Let's move to precious metals right next. That's again the daily chart and the long lower knot that I'd been talking together with curling upwards minors. So we are facing a good, relatively good day if you consider the fate of preceding downswing in precious metals for today. And let's see how far the buyers can take it before meeting serious resistance. The correction isn't likely yet over, but it's now the bulls that are on the move. So I'm striking a bullish daily tone, but reasonably conservative short term to medium term. Don't forget that the daily analysis forms the bedrock of what I do. That's the stock trading signals publication, covering all the markets within the scope of trading signals that I had covered already. Make sure you are tuned in to my live updates on Twitter and Telegram. Don't forget that side terms apply, beware of impersonators, and finally the obligatory disclaimer. Have a fine day and a great weekend in advance. Talk soon.